Hey Valerie, how are you?
Hello, Isaac. Happy to be here again.
Awesome. So you last time we talked, you were talking about how important your brand voice is in relating to community.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're starting to get a little bit more into, so we end up working with a lot of technical startups, technical scale ups. Contello Consulting, the primary company that I own and we manage, is a technical consulting firm that's in scale up mode, which means we talk about a lot of technical things. And so I could talk at length. I could talk to a technical architect to talk about data architecture patterns and infrastructure implementation security patterns and all sorts of different AI models and Olama models and all sorts of things that a lot of people, their eyes start to glaze over. And you kind of help me relate technical terminology in a way that people can understand. And I believe you wrote a new article about this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty common that since we work with a lot of technical tech founders, well, you are a tech founder, we help startups to build web pages, to build their startups from zero to business that is working.
Content strategy and the
So
full, yeah.
yeah, it is really common that when we are talking even to clients or when sharing on social media our copies, we use a lot of technical words, a lot of tech words that people sometimes it's like, what are you talking about? What is that you are meaning? I need simple words to understand what you are talking.
This doesn't just happen with technology. I went to my chiropractor and he started talking to me about this new treatment technique using stem cells and some type of laser. And I was like, what are you going to do to me? And he's like, do you want your back to stop hurting? I'm like, that's what I want. I want my back to stop hurting. He's like, okay, then let me do this. Well, okay, what's it going to cost? This much. That much and my back stops hurting? Yes. Okay. Like,
Yeah,
all right, when you make it plain, then I get it. All right, you're telling me a clear benefit. There's a new treatment option. It's highly technical, but it's going to take your pain away. I want my pain to go away. Here's my
yeah.
money.
People wants you to go straight to the point. Like, okay, you want me to give me this, give me the point you are trying to solve, give me the problem you are trying to solve to me, and that's what I want to hear. That you are solving my problem, you are solving my pain. So it is important on my side of the social media, on the web page, on email sending, email sequence, for me to be like really clear what we are trying as a company to solve, what we are trying to sell. So it's important because sometimes even when we are like having a meeting with a customer, with a possible customer, they tell us, okay, so I want this on my webpage, I want my business to have these, like, even when we are in a conference or in a call with the tech, with the DevOps, obviously, people that doesn't work in that, it's not going to understand. Even me, there are, I mean, I have like a year and a half in this business, and there are tech words that are, I don't know what they are talking about. So even
Yeah.
me, that I work in this, I don't understand something, some technical words. Like how it's someone that doesn't live in this, that doesn't really know about this, it's going to understand it. So it is important to be clear, to talk to the customer in a way like with apples. The easier way that you can make the customer or the audience to understand what you are trying to communicate.
Well, I had a client several years ago that was spending $4 million a month on data hosting in AWS. And I said, hey, we should migrate you to Aurora Postgres and we should modify your bulk storage directly into S3. And they were like, we don't know what any of that means. I'm like, you're the decision maker and you don't know what this means? No, what is it going to do? I'm like, I can save you $1 million a month and take all of your data performance away. That's what we want. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do it. Oh, we don't care how you're going to do it. Save $1 million a month and take our data performance problems away. That's what we want. Okay, great. I like driving around and I'll look at the best donut shops don't have a name. They literally just say donuts on the side of a brick building. Like, I know what to expect when I'm going in there. I'm going to get fried dough glazed in sugar handed directly to me from the fryer into my mouth. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to, no frills, no nothing. And so a lot of times with technology, we come in, we're trying to solve a problem. We're not applying specific technology just for the sake of doing it. Like when we say, hey, we should use AWS Cognito for your authentication, what we're saying is we want to use something that's scalable and will allow your users to access your applications quickly at a low cost. Well, just say that. That's what the customers want. Well, there's a word for that. It's called Cognito, and it's a word I know. And and so many times this happens. People come in, and the first thing they do is they say, "We apply this technology to companies like yours." What am I going to? Okay, that's great for you. That's great for you. That's wonderful for you. But what do I get out of it? Why do I care about this? And then we start talking about technical jargon, or we go the other way and just talk about financial. Give me $10,000 and you can get this. And that's how so many technical people do this. And we don't lead with the benefit, because the benefit is a language that they can understand, right? We helped a home building company go from building 50 houses a year to building 150 houses a year with the same amount of staff. Okay, that's what they want to talk about. That's something that they can understand. And they don't need to know what technology up front, like they can't connect with that. Somebody there needs to know how we're doing it. Somebody there needs to be able to maintain it after we leave. But that's not part of the sales strategy. That's not part of the communication and the community strategy. Our nearshore talent largely is managed services, which is you have a large team, you need specified skills on that team. We bring them to you at a reasonable, affordable cost, but also they stay with you for a long time. We keep them engaged for years and years on your team.
Exactly.
And that's something they don't need to know. We have a saying here: we don't need to know how the sausage is made. A lot of times they do need to know how the sausage is made, but that's not your content strategy. That's your account management strategy after the fact. That's accountability. But if you're going to somebody and you're saying, um, I think I used this quote last time: vote for Pedro and all your dreams will come true. Like, vote for Pedro. People, it's from a movie. It's silly. People still wear those badges, vote for Pedro. It's like, why? Because all your dreams will come true. Okay, use my company because this dream will come. Break it down just like that. And now you're engaging folks. Yes, you have to have transparency later. And typically that happens through education, which is further content, but that's not part of the initial contact.
Yeah, exactly. So it is important to be clear. Like when you are trying to approach the client, when you are trying to communicate with the community on social media, on the webpage, even on YouTube, to be like speak in the clearest way possible. Okay, people don't really care about what you are doing or what you are doing behind the scenes. People wants to see the result. People wants you to make it in the fastest way possible. So
Yeah.
that's how we approach. Okay, so you need this to be solved. We can do it in this length of time. When other companies do it this way, we can do it this way. We offer you this. No tech language, no tech words that you won't understand, because obviously you don't know. We only tell you that, okay, your pain is this, we are going to solve it this way, and it's going to cost you this much. But obviously, the price also comes after the communication with the client. So during the social media phase, the web page, on the web page we put some prices, but obviously it also depends on what are your needs.
Yeah. But in what we do, there's no one size fits all. It's not, you're not buying a candy bar. We're
Yeah,
not selling widgets. One thing that's actually more challenging than it sounds, though. So for me, I can say something that sounds very simple. Okay, in data modeling, there's a technique where you will have a index table with the primary key on the index, and then you have a remote that's a heap and it's a B tree off the primary. And for me, you tell me, hey, go and design a fact and dimension with the B tree index clustered off the remote primary key. I'm like, got it. That's perfect for this. That's nice and simple, elegant architecture. Meanwhile, data architects that are senior data architects are just like, what? And these are technical people. For me, it's straightforward. I'm building a primary key, I'm clustering it, I'm storing the data in the direction of the cluster. I'm doing a B tree index with a heap on a remote table. Straightforward. I mean, it doesn't get a lot more simple than that. And
Now,
meanwhile, you have no clue what I'm talking about.
now say that to someone who's trying to build his business or who's starting to know about a web page and how that works. They're going to be like, okay, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, and this happens across the board. I mean, I took my truck to a muffler shop, and they're talking about different muffler options, and I'm like, what? And they're like, save gas, get more power. I'm like, oh yeah, sign me up. That's what I want right there. More power, better economy. Here's my money. And that's what we have to be really careful. But it's really hard to do that internally because the muffler shop, they know what double platinum buffer pads are. Like I have no idea what they're even talking about, but they know it. And so when they write things, they're like, well, it's really easy. Like this is just it. Okay, it's easy for you. That's not easy for me. Like I don't understand what you're talking about. You're gonna shoot lasers at my back, and the chiropractor is gonna poke me with needles, and because of this thing, this technology, and I'm supposed to just be okay with it. Well, yeah, because of this technical. No, no, no. You got to explain to me in a way I can get on board with. Like the lasers and needles at my chiropractor is normally like a hard red line, but it takes my pain away. So, okay, I'm willing to endure that. And so, a lot of times, this is where it's very beneficial to have somebody outside. Hey, we're a marketing company and we still use people to do audits of our landing pages because for us, I could talk about things that make a lot of sense. Like Alex and I were talking about tuned GPT models and building custom agents with response sequences, and we're talking about that, and it made a lot of sense to us. It was very common, down to earth, simple conversation. Other people didn't understand it, so having somebody outside that comes in and says, "I don't know your industry, but I understand what you're saying," so important.
Yeah, it is, especially because that's how you build trust in your customer. I mean, no one that doesn't know what you are selling, what you are trying to communicate, someone who doesn't understand, it's not going to reach you. It's not going to trust in you because you don't know what you are talking about. So you need to build that trust, speaking the same language as a kid, as you can say, maybe. Because you have to be really clear, you have to be really careful also in the way that you are trying to communicate with the customer, with the audience. So it is important that you are really careful with how you communicate, which words even you use. Because, well, you are trying to make it the easiest way possible for people to understand, but also you have to be careful which words you use.
Well, I have a good example of this. Our first email that we sent out, this is 2018. I said that we could handle your delivery projects for 60% lower than traditional dev firms. And people are like, interesting. You handle delivery. We have this trucking route that we deal with. I would love to save 60% on my deliveries with this trucking route. I'm like, I meant software technology project delivery. Oh, why didn't you say that? I'm like, I really thought I did.
Yeah, you think it's common sense, but it's really not because obviously it depends also on the business you're trying to reach. That's why it's also important to be clear on what your customer is, who you are trying to reach.
And that's the important part. Don't use terminology that makes sense to you. Use terminology that makes sense to your customer and that shows your customer what the benefit is.
Exactly. So that's why I said it is important to, okay, use simple words, but also ones that make sense on what you are trying to sell, and also that what makes sense to the client. So that's why when we are trying to make an email sequence, or when we make our logbook for the week of social media and our blogs for the Glowbox webpage and for every other social media we have, we make it for the week. We We check every word. How does this make sense? What we are trying to sell? Who are we sending this? Are we sending this to CEOs? Are we sending this to the HR department? Are we sending this to tech devils?
Audience matters. Yeah.
Sadly.
Well, we've done a few events recently where we've helped them drive attendance. We've had really good success with that. And historically, events, they talk about what their keynote speakers are talking about or what their agenda is. And they don't go and talk to their attendees and find out what it's like to attend so that you could tell that story to future attendees. And it just seems so obvious. You're trying to sell tickets to an attendee. And if you're talking about the keynote speaker, a fan of that keynote speaker might come to the event. You can drive attendance that way. But if you're not even telling them what to expect at the event, which so many people completely forget to do, you're not going to have the attendance that you should have.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. I have received invitations to medical events, to medical startups week. And it's like, why would I be interested in attending a med startup week when it's not even what I don't work at that. I mean, I don't
That's
do
a
that.
segmentation issue. Since so many of you have a Contalo.net email account, so many of our resources are working in the clinical space for clients in the pharma industry. So you just get lumped right in. And so, at an ICP perspective, there are people in this company that would attend those events. But from an audience perspective, you're not one of those people. And that's what people miss so far. They define their ICP. We want to deal with companies that work in the pharma and clinical health tech space. All right, that's us. Send it to the community manager. That's not right. That's not the right person. Send it to human resources as a resource for people in the space. Send it directly to people that have those titles, but don't send it to the community manager
Of a tech company.
of a tech company, right?
Yeah. So it is important for people to know who they are trying to reach also, because you don't want, for example, us trying to, in 2018,
Selling delivery to a construction company.
exactly.
They're thinking I'm talking about parts and services delivery. They don't know what we're talking about. And I didn't do a good job of educating them. Man, we've learned a lot in the last 9 years.
Yeah, but you learn from the mistakes, and that's how we are here right now. So it is important also to make some mistakes, but also to identify them. Because
Measure. Yeah. Populate the CRM. Go back, look at the data. I had a sequence that we were sending last week to staffing companies to help them with their email campaigns. And it was a 5 email sequence. Email 3 had like a 70% open rate, had like a 40% click through rate. Email 1 and 2 didn't. Email 4 didn't. But email 3 killed it. All right, let's go back. Let's analyze that. What did I say in that message that connected with people, and why didn't the other ones connect? That right there is data. And now I could say something about this message and connected. How do I take that and expand on it? And maybe what I need to do is that topic. Maybe I write about that topic again in every sequence, every step in that sequence is that topic boiled in a different way.
exactly. And that's how we have learned also how we avoid getting into spam, how we know what media to attach to the email, also how to not add emojis to the emails because it sends it directly to spam.
Directly spam. Yep. Yeah. Don't go directly to jail. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200 directly into spam folder. Yeah. And I say this all the time. It sounds so simple. Marketing and sales is saying the right thing to the right person at the right time with the right call to action. Boiled down to a really simple thing. No, just say the right thing to the right person at the right time and then tell them what they want to do. It's super simple, right? No, it's really not. Mark Twain one time said, "Today I'm writing a long letter because I don't have time to write a short one." Saying the right thing in the right way to the right person at the right time takes a lot of effort and data and strategy, and then getting them to hear what you said and actually receive it and then take an action because of what you said to them. that it is there's a science involved there, and a little bit of magic, I think. Uh, Hopefully not the dark arts, but you need to know how to do that. That's a skill set, and I don't know very many tech firms that have that skill set. I don't know very many staffing firms. I was reading through my junk mail folder again today. A lot of people are trying to ask me if I'm willing to sell my company directly into my spam folder. These folks, they buy companies and sell them. That's what they do, and they can't get into the inbox. It is a hard skill to get. And then, I mean, for me, I haven't read the words yet that have made me want to sell the thing that I've spent the last 10 years of my life building. And I don't know. I'm getting pretty old now. I have employees that are productive. They're half my age out there doing good work, and maybe I don't do this forever. So maybe that's where the right time and the right call to action come in. But I mean, saying taking technical words and breaking them down into a understanding and then a call to action, it's there's an art there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we have learned through all these years, through all this time, that it is important the way we communicate. The emails, it's the best way to get customer, to get leads, or to get connections. Because it's not always about customers, it's the connections that also you can create, how you can collaborate with other businesses, with other founders, with other people.
Community is so important. I have people that bring me business all the time. I'll never sell anything to them. They don't need my services, but they have people that need my services and they bring them to me. And so my community is much more than about my customers. It's about the people that advocate for me and know to trust me when they have a customer or a relationship, somebody that needs something done.
Exactly. So it is important that you have the right way to communicate, the right email, that it doesn't feel too like I'm trying to sell you this, you want this, you need this. Like, no, calm down.
Yep. Or aggressive. I still get those emails. I know you're getting these emails. Like, gosh, it's in my spam folder. You don't know
Reality.
anything. But this, yeah, I mean, this is not where we are in our relationship. Like, if my wife calls me, I know you're getting those text messages and you're just not replying to me. Okay, I get it. Still a bit aggressive. I did not get the text messages, but okay, I get that. But a stranger that I did not ask for emails from, that is not how you handle this. And then so no, the community and managing your network and making sure that you are projected, especially when it's technical. I mean, the things that we do, people don't understand it. I mean, I hire software engineers, and I was trying to explain email forwarding techniques that we do in Glowbox, where the SMTP is typically outbound, but I use it to get my emails in, and then I distribute it, explaining the benefit of that technique and then explaining how that technique works was a very complicated thing. And now going out to our customers and saying something really simple, you can use your current CRM and get mailbox rotation and reputation management. Okay, great. But if I went to them and said, oh, yeah, we built a SMTP proxy and we do a two directional IMAP folder for forwarding and SMTP routing. What? Like, why do you do that? Because your CRM is sending 250 emails a day, and they're all going in the spam folder, and we want to go into the inbox so you can actually get new customers. Why didn't you say that to begin with? Well, maybe I should have. And so, breaking it down, taking technology and explaining the benefit. The why do we do that? Why do I use distributed messaging queues? Why do I use scalable database instances? Why am I using containerization? I use these things because at a low cost, I can have a highly performant and scalable application. Let your application scale without your budget going through the roof. All right, cool. I understand that. So the for me, the simple way to express technical benefit is don't talk about the technology, talk about the benefit, and then explain how through.
Exactly.
Awesome. Great article. This is on our blog. Obviously, this is going to be on the podcast and YouTube channel and
Oh, that's
everywhere. All right, awesome. All right, thanks so much for being here, Valerie.